Yo, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Isaac.
And this is your boy Bryce.
And we are brothers on tennis. And folks, it is our midweek, our mid-fortnight. It is the U.S. Open 2020. And me and my brother Bryce are coming at you, trying to make some sense of what is going on at this U.S. Open. Brother,
right.
What is going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I've been just watching all of these good matches, all these upsets, all these dramatic stories that have been going on, and talk about the bubble and all that kind of good stuff. So it's been one to remember so far, and we're just halfway through it.
Exactly. I think this U.S. Open represents 2020. Just outright crazy, unpredictable. Insanity in some senses, joyous in other senses. It's just a lot of everything, man. But hey, we up in it. We've lasted a week, man. So what have been your thoughts about just the tennis that you've seen thus far, Bryce?
Well, I'm going to start off with this note because we've talked about it a couple of times, and you know, there are people out there that they want to put an asterisk by this tournament and say, because, Roger and Rafa are not here, or 6 of the top 8 ladies are not here, or whatever, whoever wins this title is going to be an asterisk by their name. And I totally reject that concept because, as we've talked about in the past, there are a bunch of Grand Slams that you can go back and look at, and for years where either Martina Navratilova and Chris Evert didn't play, or Oregon Connors didn't play. A Grand Slam is not defined by who decides to show up. It's defined by a tournament that has a certain number of competitors, a certain number of rounds. It pays out at a certain structure. It rewards points at a certain structure. That's what makes a Grand Slam tournament. And I tell you what, for all the kind of sideline stories we have and who's here and who's not here, I've been really impressed with the quality of the tennis that has been played. You really, for me, I feel like we see a lot of parity at this point out there on the courts. Some of the things that we predicted have come true, and there's definitely some stuff that we predicted that did not come true.
That did not come true.
No, not at all. So let's do this. Let's take a look at the women's draw, and let's just kind of call out some of the matches that were important to us for one reason or another, right?
Right, absolutely.
And I'm going to go ahead because I wanted you to talk about this because this is your girl. One of the people that I had selected to be in the semifinals was Pliskova.
Yes.
But she's not there. And Isaac, can you tell me why she's not there?
She is not there because Caroline Garcia was like, yo, get up out the way. I got something for you today. Look, I'm trying to tell you, Bryce, Caroline Garcia is just one of those players. She hasn't really found her normal level, in my opinion. She can be really, really exceptional, and then she can look really, really horrible. And I think that that's what we've seen over the last few years is a bit of that horrible. But I feel like she's getting her game back together, man. This was a good U.S. Open for her. For her to be able to take out Pliskova, that ain't no joke.
And straight sets.
And straight sets too. I mean that to me was just a really, really strong showing. And mind you, she got taken out by Jennifer Brady, which honestly ain't nothing to laugh at because Jen Brady right now is the hotness. She is the hotness. Let us be clear, folks. You touch her and you might get burned because my girl is playing some ball and she's looking like she's trying to play. Bro. So I appreciate you bringing my girl Caroline. Hopefully Mama Nancy will get off my back as it relates.
Right.
Because Mama Nancy was like, you still rooting for her? I'm like, but I am very happy with how she showed out. Speaking of the person that beat her though, Bryce, Jennifer Brady looked good, dog. Give me your thoughts on Jennifer Brady. How are you thinking?
Well, it's been up and down, right? So she won Lexington, and then I think she lost in the first round of the Western Southern. And now,
Yeah, Pagula got up on it, was like,
right.
I'm not scared of you.
Right. And now, she's looked really good again. And for me, her taking out Angelique Kerber in the fourth round was a really good win, because even though Angelique may not be at the level that, she once was, she is a three-time Grand Slam singles champion. So just stepping out there on the court and beating somebody like that in the Grand Slam tournament is a big deal.
That's right.
So that, Jen Brady is looking good. I still, and I've told a couple people this online this week, I still am not, I see she's playing well. I'm not 100% behind her yet, because I just need to see her play at this level a little bit longer, see some more wins like a Kerber against some stiffer competition before I'm really invested in Jen Brady, because right now, she's just somebody who's kind of had a good season. But, I just want to broaden this topic out for just a quick second. Yeah. What Jen Brady does represent, though, is a major movement by U.S. tennis for the women. We are all kind of represented in this draw by good, strong U.S. women. And I think there's potentially going to be 4 of the top 8 going into the top 8. So kudos to Jen Brady and that whole team of American women that are coming through.
Absolutely agree. Yeah, and she's taking on Putin-Sava, which will not be easy. But with that heavy forehand, she might be all right, though. We'll see what happens. Anyway, we'll get to our predictions later. But also giving a shout out to Shelby Rogers. Shelby was like, look, if Jim for Brady can do it, guess what? I can do it as well. Because I took out Serena Williams and get off me. Get off me.
Right.
She was like, anybody scared of your power? I got power too. I'm Lizzie Davenport 2.0, bitch. What?
Right.
I mean, really, congratulations to Shelby Rogers.
Right.
Now, I've always liked Shelby. Just seems like she's a very, very sweet young lady. And kudos for her for making it to the quarters. Now, I tell you what, it's going to be tight in this next match for her. But like I said, kudos to her making it to the quarterfinal. That is incredible, bro. What are some of the other things that you've seen in the draw happening with some other players that you'd like to point out on the women's side?
Yeah, well, we can't get away from the tennis phenom, Coco Gauff.
Right.
We thought that she would get through that match with Sevastova. We felt like she maybe had some experience playing a style that was similar to that based upon, having played Jabeur. And and this is why I said this a year ago with Coco Gauff, and I want to reiterate it. She is surpassing all expectations that we have for her, right? But at the end of the day, she is a 16-year-old girl playing in a professional sport against the best women in the world. And you're going to have to expect these ups and downs for a little bit as she continues to grow and develop her game. She's got to get these double faults under control, because that's going to be a big issue for her. And she's got to tighten up that forehand. I think players know that's kind of where you need to go to break one of those shots down. So as well as she's done, and you can't expect her to have done any better than she has done, she still has a lot of growth.
Yes, she does.
And some of these veteran tennis players will take advantage of that.
Absolutely. And like you said, she's 16. That's what you would expect. And I do feel like, again, the pandemic, just everything that's happened, her momentum kind of got stunted a little bit. And it's just one of those things. You're not always going to have a great day. I mean, we saw that.
Right.
She played, lights out in Lexington. And like I said, she just really showed up very well there. But, hey, you get out on court, it's a U.S. Open,
right.
And I just don't feel like her game was quite there. On the day, and Sevastova took advantage of that. So right. To me, it's an understandable loss. Like you said, she's got a lot of work to do. She's got to work on that serve, got to work on the forehand. But overall, being 16, she's exactly where she needs to be. So yeah,
right.
nothing too crazy. that I can see. But Bryce,
Right.
let me transition into this, man. Since we're talking about the babies,
right?
How about these mamas? How about these
mamas? Right.
The mamas are like, yo.
Mama said knock you out.
Mama said knock you out. I'm gonna knock you out. What? I mean, the mothers are getting they getting they beat a bone, man. And I mean, I just really wish that somehow or another. I still feel like just going back to the Clijsters match. I forget the young lady that she was playing. Alexandrova. I mean, Clijsters actually looked. She looked great in that first set and a half. And then it seemed like Alexandrova either found something out or Kim lost a little bit of momentum. But regardless, we still just hope that Kimmy, she still looks good. And hopefully that, that abdominal strain or what have you is healing and that she'll be back on the tour for the rest of the season. Because I was really hoping she was going to pull her way through that. But unfortunately, she did not.
Yeah. She looked really good. I mean, even in the loss, I mean, just the power that she was hitting with, and I think when she just didn't hit her off the court in that second set, she got herself in trouble. And let me tell you what, I've seen Alexandrova play before, right?
Yeah.
She played. That's the best I've ever seen her play. So it wasn't just that, she stepped her game up, and you got to give her a lot of credit. But Alexandrova would have beat a lot of people
on that night. You're exactly right.
I was sad to hear, and I didn't really read the article online, but it was some kind of statement that was being said about, Kim was doubtful of how she was whether she was going to continue her comeback or not, and I don't think it had to deal with necessarily her play, because I think I even saw where she said she still felt like she played really well, but I think it's something about like this whole traveling thing, and she was thinking the family could be with her, and with the virus and everything is so sketchy and all that kind of good stuff. I don't know how she's feeling right now about actually being on tour. Right. So, I hope that she's able to work that out, because she would be a major threat on the tour if she continues to grow from what we saw in her first round match.
Absolutely agree. And,
can't hear you.
For whatever reason, on the locker room, I'm not hearing you. Are you able to hear me? You can't hear me?
I can't hear you, no.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Something happened on our little feed. So I'm hearing you through IG. Keep going.
You can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. So you're okay.
So until we can hear you again, I'm just going to kind of roll through a few more matches. Of course, we talked about last time, we were a little disappointed that there was some black-on-black crime happening in the first round, and that was the match between Taylor Townsend and Sasha Vickery. Two of our up-and-coming young African-American female players. Hated to see them have to play each other in the first round. Was also very disappointed that they were put on court 10, which happened to be the only court that ESPN was not doing their streaming from. So I guess unless you had Tennis Channel Plus, which I don't, I didn't get a chance to see it. I see someone online here saying that they're shocked that Taylor was beaten by Vickery. We absolutely were not. Vickery and Taylor met just a couple of months ago in an exhibition in Atlanta, and Taylor, I think Sasha Vickery beat her like 6-0, 6-2. Just absolutely took her out. And also, we didn't feel like Taylor is necessarily in the best shape for singles right now. She's obviously killing it in doubles, but in singles, I just didn't think she could hang with Sasha Vickery. And it was another pretty easy straight set win for Vickery, 6-2, 6-4. Yes, and I see your comment that Taylor needs a new coach. You felt that for a long time. You're not the only person that feels that way, but players are going to choose who they feel comfortable with. And sometimes I don't even think when you are picking a coach, it should be as much about comfort. You need somebody to tell you the truth. You don't need somebody that makes you feel comfortable. And so Taylor Townsend, for as talented as she is, we're still waiting on a consistency of results from her. Isaac, are you back with us? did you try to drop out of locker room and add back in? Here, I'm going to drop you from, remove you as a speaker, and then try to add you back again.
Okay, that sounds good.
Speaker, and see if that makes a difference. Because I don't want to do this whole show by myself, and I'm sure everybody else doesn't want me to do it by myself either. All right.
I can still, of course, hear you on IG, so that's okay.
And you cannot. Okay. So I'm just going to continue. Is there something that you're working on?
Yeah,
I'm just going to continue.
Keep going.
So, in the bottom half of the draw, there were a couple of very exciting, results. Well, no, before I leave the top half of the draw for the women, we have to mention Latovich. She had one of the biggest collapses that we've seen in tennis in a long time. She was up 6-1, 5-1, I believe, in the second set, maybe even 40-love. And she lost that match 1-6, 7-6, 6-love. And afterwards even kind of blamed the whole environment of being in the bubble and all that kind of stuff, and really just came off as being not the most professional, and also being a little bit kind of a complainer and an elitist. So not exactly sure what happened there. She ended up having some problems with her doubles as well, because she and her partner ended up being withdrawn because of they had been around, or at least Latovich had been around Benoit Paire, who had tested positive, and they decided that they did not want her to play. Isaac, are you telling me to try you again? Okay, invite you to speak. Are you back here?
Hello?
Oh, wow. I'm sorry, everyone. I don't know how we are missing you. So what we're going to do is, can I hear you, Isaac, through Instagram?
You can.
Okay. So we're going to, I'm sorry, Locker Room folks, we're going to have to kill Locker Room for the rest of this episode. We'll have to figure out what's going on with Isaac through Locker Room. Okay, thanks, everyone.
Yeah. Can you hear me, Bryce?
I can hear you fine, yes.
So something happened in Locker Room, because Howard and all of those folks who were also on the call are now off. So I have a feeling Locker Room may have kind of had an issue. But it seemed like you were okay though.
Okay, yeah.
So maybe because you had started it up, everything was good. So sorry about this, folks. But technical difficulties. Something always happens.
Right. Well, you came back right in time, because I wanted you to talk about Miss Madison Keys.
Yeah, disappointed that she got injured. I don't know exactly what the issue was. But yeah.
Her neck.
Oh, was it the neck? Like joking?
Actually, I think Cornet had a foot on it, but
quietly, because Alize Cornet is no joke. She is a tough one to play, and I think that she played well. And like I said, Madison, I don't think was just whatever was happening with the neck just wasn't allow her to play her tennis. But I tell you what, Bryce, she looked good up to that point. I mean, she was feeding some folks up to that point. So she looked good, but disappointed that unfortunately she, had to withdraw and everything. But
all right, well, okay. Anyway, somebody else that I had predicted to go further was Muguruza, and at the time it seemed like a huge upset with Pironkova, but talk about Pironkova, one of the mothers.
I'm telling you what, man, and this is one of those things, because Pironkova has always been on my radar because she was able to beat Venus at Wimbledon. And, you know, everybody was like, what? Venus lost? And I was like, don't be sleeping on Perankova. Svetlana Perankova is she got game. Right. And I wondered why, you know, I hadn't heard much of her lately. And, you know, come to find out, she'd been off the tour for basically 3 years because she had a baby. And just good on her. The first tournament back, and she's back in the quarterfinals, and she took out, like I said, Donna Vekic. She took out, I mean, she has taken out some players. She took out, you know, I mean, so you know, good on her, man. I mean, just so happy that, you know, she has, you know, made her way back to the tour and is getting some really good results. You know, it'll be an interesting matchup with her and Serena, the two moms going at each other. Right. It'll be, you know, yeah, and I would expect that Serena should call on Venus and be like, yo, Venus, how she beat up on you so that she don't beat up on me.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, man. So yeah, good on Perankova, bro. Yeah, that's been cool.
Okay. Well, let's just hit a few more of these women matches. Of course, our queen.
Yeah, of course. Venus. I mean, well, okay. We talk about the queen Venus. That was disappointing, as you know. During the our pre-show, I was predicting that she was going to beat Mukova, or however you pronounce her name, Muchova. And I don't know. The Venus that I saw in Lexington was not the Venus that night. But kudos to Muchova. She was playing a really nice mix of tennis. She was playing power tennis. She was getting to the net. That's the type of tennis that I was actually hoping Venus would play. Get to the net a little bit more. That's the one thing that we haven't been seeing much lately is Venus trying to make her way to the net. And I'm hoping that she can figure out how to integrate that back into her game, because she definitely didn't do it that night and got taken advantage of. But yeah, so that was disappointing, bro. The queen.
Right. Yeah, it was one of those things where I once again was like, this is why I say it's hard for me to get very excited with Venus when she has a couple of good results, because I always feel like these kind of performances are around the corner. And, you know, forgive me if this is still in any way due to, you know, her Sjogren's disease or anything like that. I don't understand what her situation is. So I can't, you know, I can't really talk about it like that. But it just, whatever the reason is just, you know, a little disappointing that, you know, we can't seem to get her on a long roll of matches. Because I thought her draw was good enough to get through, you know, a good number of rounds.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Yeah, I think had she gotten through that first match, I think she could have been in a position, you know, where Mukova is right now. I mean, honestly, she could be playing Vika right now, and she has a great record against Vika. So that's just very disappointing that she wasn't able to, you know, pull out her best tennis when it actually truly mattered. Right. But you know, always love V. Always gonna root for her. It's tough, but you know, it is what it is. We'll keep on rooting for her.
Well, and speaking of Azarenka, who's one of the other moms, I mean, who would have thought? After we saw her get thumped by Venus in Lexington, I mean, like thumped. It wasn't like even close.
Wasn't even yeah, exactly.
That she would go on to win Western and Southern, and now, you know, she's playing to be in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? I mean, just it's so awesome, though. I mean, it's you know, Vika is, I guess, she found her joy. She found her happiness, because it seems like she's happier on court. She's, you know, smiling. She's engaging. I don't know what flipped the switch. Maybe one of them forehands that Venus put on her knocked her into, knocked her right. But I tell you what, she is playing some ball, and she sure did get up on Sabalenka. She was like, anybody's scared of you, country woman.
I was surprised at how she beat her down. Like
she beat her down like it was like easy too. I was like, ooh, that's not nice.
Like she had done something to her, you know. It wasn't nice.
Exactly, man. It's like, man. But no, I'm really happy that the old school Azarenka is back, and we'll see how she does against Mukova. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Now, I will tell you someone who I'm gonna give you a quick one that I was really proud of, and a quick one that I was a little disappointed in.
Yeah.
Was very proud of the job that Katie McNally did. You know, if you would have told me one half of Makoko was going to make it to the third round, I would have said,
Yeah,
it'll be
it's going to be
Coco.
Coco.
Right. But I think people are really seeing that McNally has a bright future. And one of the things I was telling actually someone on Locker Room is I said, players that typically have like that whole aggressive and serve and volley game and all that, it takes them usually a little longer to season and to get into that game. And that's what Katie has. And so I don't think she was going to pop off like Coco, but I think you give Katie a couple of more years. I truly think she eventually has top 10 potential.
I absolutely agree. I think that she's very athletic. She has a great, great volleying game. Anytime you got somebody that's not afraid to get to the net, I always feel like that's a good thing. And she knows how to slice, which to me is also something very important that is so underrated on the women's side of the game. I think more women need to develop a slice just to be able to, just change the rhythm. Justine Enna did that with, and I ain't the biggest fan of her, but she did it with great precision and perfection. And that's why she was able to be effective. And she was able to, when she started getting overpowered, boom, hit that slice, reset. And I just feel like with her having that shot in her game and her wheelhouse, I think a lot of Katie McNally. I think she will do very well. And I absolutely am with you with that top 10 prediction. I feel like she will definitely get there some point in time in her career for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, who I was a little disappointed in was I actually thought Jabeur was going to take out Kennan.
I thought so as well. I was pretty surprised. But I tell you what, that damn Kennan, man, she is low-key. She low-key, like, strong, man. She is like, I ain't scared of none of y'all. I don't care what kind of game you bring at me. I'm going to bring it to you. But I tell you what, that actually, because remember, that was my prediction. I predicted on taking out Kennan and getting to the quarterfinal. And Sophia was like, you can go ahead and bet against me all you want. I'm going to go ahead and show you what I got.
Right.
Yeah, man.
I tell you, I feel like I see... And I hope this doesn't come across as disrespectful, but I feel like I see a little laziness sometimes out of Jabeur. I feel like, how sometimes when you see those players that are just really talented and they just have that touch and they come so naturally to them, maybe they make it look like it's them not doing much. But sometimes I just feel like she just, should try something, and if it doesn't work, oh, well,
Yeah, it's like, I
got another paycheck coming.
Exactly.
It's all good. So, but no, this has been a really, really good tournament thus far. Yeah. And let's go and talk about our updated projections we have here. So,
absolutely. Yeah.
So if we look at the top half of the draw, we're in the quarterfinals.
Yes.
And we have, I don't know why my dog is barking because he never barks.
We having all kinds of stuff popping up on this recording.
Makes me want to peek in the backyard.
See who's trying to get up in your crib, huh?
Right. But if you take a look at, Isaac, if you can kind of just hit like our quarterfinals right now. Yeah. Who do you we have Jen Brady and against Putintseva and Osaka versus Shelby Rogers. How do you see those two matches going?
Yeah, well, I had predicted Brady, so I'm going to stick with my prediction with her. I'm going to pick her to get to the semis. And again, I picked Osaka. And yeah, I was about to say, go check on your puppy. I'll talk to the folks. So hey, folks, how y'all doing? So yeah, I've got Jennifer Brady coming through on the top half. And I've got Osaka, who's going to come through on that bottom side. So for me, I think it's going to be the semifinals is going to be Jennifer Brady versus Naomi Osaka. Is everything good with the puppy? Ain't nobody trying to slide up in your crib?
Yeah, I think it's a bird or a squirrel or a lizard or something like that.
All right, very good.
You know what? And I definitely agree with you on the Osaka, and it's interesting because Osaka has never beaten Shelby. She's 0-3 on her, but I think they haven't played maybe in a while. And
it's been a minute, yeah.
I think it's a whole different situation there with them. So I agree with you on Osaka. I don't know why. I had this thought that Putin Saber was going to be Jim Brady. Because, okay. and let me tell you why. It ain't even really about Jim Brady. Okay. I think Putin Saber thinks if she can get into the semifinals of the U.S. Open against Naomi Osaka, she could very well be in the finals of the U.S. Open. And that's going to give her all the motivation she needs to put Jim Brady out.
That is a very, very good point. Because like I said, Putin Saber like putting the things on Osaka. So if she knows she get the opportunity to play her, you're absolutely right. She might be like, Jim Brady, you're not going to get in my way.
Yeah, so, and don't get me wrong, I think Jim Brady is definitely the favorite going into that match. But this is 2020. And,
exactly. You never know what's going to happen.
No. So, and I'm assuming that, so are you saying that you see Osaka in the finals, whether she meets Brady or Putin Saber?
Yeah, I honestly do. I think that I think regardless, Osaka is still going to make the final, and I still am. Well, I won't talk about the bottom half, but yes. How about you?
I agree. I do think. I mean, Putin Saber may want to try to catch her in the semis if she wants to, but I think Naomi Osaka right now, her stardom is rising. Mm-hmm. She's playing well. She's got a good coach that she's happy with, and she's actually winning with. Her image off court and is doing wonders for her. I think even for her confidence, and I think she's the future face of the WTA. She is on the rise right now, and I think she absolutely will be in the finals.
Absolutely agree. Yeah, she is doing her thing. Absolutely.
Right.
How about that bottom half for you, Bryce?
So bottom half. Now, first we have in the first quarterfinal we have the battle of two moms. We have Pironkova against Serena. I think Serena is 3 or 4-0 against Pironkova.
Yeah.
And kind of watching that match today with Pironkova, and although I like her and all that, the way Serena has been playing really this entire U.S. Open, I don't think Pironkova has anything for Serena.
Right.
And so I would expect for Serena to get in the finals there. I don't know that we have results for the bottom yet, do we?
No, I don't think so. Well, I have. If we do, I have not looked. So
okay. So I'm not sure. We have Azarenka versus Muova. I always mess up her name. Muova.
Yeah.
And Elise Mertens against Kenin.
Right.
Which, if people haven't been paying attention, Mertens has been playing. That's not an easy out. So
that's right.
I'm gonna go with Azarenka because I think she's hot right now. I'm actually gonna call the upset with Mertens.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say it's gonna be a semifinal on the bottom half of Serena versus Azarenka. And I think Serena will be in the finals against Osaka. What are you thinking about the bottom half?
Yeah, I'm thinking definitely Serena will come through against Pironkova. I feel like I think Kenin will actually get through Mertens. I feel like she will. But I also agree with you though. I think that Vika will then take out Kenin, and she will make it to the semis against Serena, and then I think Serena will take out Azarenka to make the final. So I still think it's going to be the final that I think you and I both predicted, which is Osaka versus Serena.
Right.
I think it's going to be a rematch, and it's going to be ridiculous. Oh, it's going to be so good.
Do you know if it ends up being Osaka, Serena, how the media is going to handle that?
Yeah.
You got the social injustice champion.
Yep.
You've got the GOAT going for 24, and then you have the memories of that ridiculous final from 2 years ago.
Exactly. There's all the storylines that they can come up with will just be outstanding.
Right.
And I simply cannot wait.
That is going to be good. So we're about halfway through here, a little bit over halfway through.
Yeah.
Before we transition to the men, I just want to briefly bring up women's doubles. And obviously, we are very excited because for the first time in the semifinals, we have Taylor Townsend and Asia Muhammad.
Yes.
And we are so very excited for them. They definitely benefited from not having to play Babos and Mladenovic.
yeah.
Yeah, the number one seeds. Right.
Yeah.
So now they have Melikar and that Chu.
Zhu, yeah.
Zhu, yeah. She's that's not going to be an easy.
That ain't gonna be easy.
You know, but look, you're in the semifinals at this point. Let's go. You know,
exactly.
Let's do this. Exactly. I would be so excited for them if they are able to get that title.
Yeah, absolutely agree. They are doing their thing, man. I'm so proud of those young ladies. Keep it up. Let's go get that. Let's go get that title.
Let's go get that W. Yes.
Yeah, make it all sister girls and everything. Make right. 2 sister girls in the women's singles final and 2 sister girls in the doubles final. Come on now.
That would be awesome. That would be very apropos for 2020.
You wouldn't have
so let's talk about the men.
Let's get on with the fellas.
And let's talk about some early stuff that happened there.
Yeah.
So I want to start off with basically the person that was the American hope for this tournament, and that was Riley Opelka, who played David Goffin in the first round. I mean, we didn't really see a whole lot of that knee issue. He may have been hampered a little bit, but Goffin was not trying to hear that.
Yeah, Goffin played a great match, and he was just like, "Nah, sorry, tall boy, you ain't got nothing for me today."
Right.
But you know, I still like Riley Opelka a lot. Just looking forward to seeing what he's going to do for the rest of the year going into 2021. But yeah, Goffin just he was not to be played with today.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. I'm trying to see if we had any other kind of like first round. Did you have any first round ones that you?
I was impressed that Jack Sock took that Cuevas match in 5.
I was just getting ready to say that. Yes.
I feel like that was a good one for Jack. I mean, because I think we both talked about that one, and we were both like, "Yo, if it gets to 5, it might be tight on Jack." And Jack was like, "Hey, don't be hating on my fitness." So he went out there and showed a little something. So to me, that was a good win for him. So that was really cool. And how about what's his name? Nori taking out Diego Schwartzman in 5. That was also an upset in my opinion. Because Diego, he always got some good games. So how about you? You see any of the other ones?
I'm just trying to, for me, I don't know that there were any other first round ones that really got me, but kind of going into the draw a little bit, I will say this. And although he had a winning record over him, I didn't think he was going to do it. I was surprised that Isner went out to Stevie Johnson.
Yeah, well, he was up 5-4 in their head-to-head. So Stevie apparently is like, you may be a giant, but I ain't scared of your game. So he must be able to see something. So that was a little bit surprising because I would have thought that Isner with these fast scores really would have done. He honestly probably should have won because I think he would have done a lot better than Stevie because I believe Stevie went out the next round to I forget what the little guy's name is.
He went out
Barranquez? I think it was Barranquez.
Yes,
right?
to Barranquez.
Yeah. Which, funny enough, I met him a long time ago at UCLA. I was his driver once. He was a nice little kid. But he ain't but like 5'8", 5'9".
He looks short.
Guy. Yeah, he's a little guy, but he's really nice. But that was kind of crazy. And really, let me just throw a really quick shout out.
Sure.
Shout out to Michael Moe for getting a first round win. I mean, good for him for making it, into the second. I mean, literally. I mean, because we had him. Did we mention Sasha Vickery getting doing her thing on the? Okay. That must have been when I had my issue. But yeah, good for some of the folk, trying to do a little something. So I was really proud to see that at least he made it to the second round. So that was good.
I was disappointed that my boy Lovich didn't get out of the first round, but I tell you, I watched that match, and you know how sometimes people just look like it just was not their day.
Not their day.
And it looked like he knew it, and it was just like, let me just go. Where's my L?
Exactly.
Let me go pick it up, put it on my back, and take it home.
Exactly. Right.
Right.
Oh,
but I want to give a special shout out to J.J. Wolf, fellow Cincinnatian, fellow Buckeye. I have watched him, well, of course, being raised in Cincinnati, I'm familiar with the Wolf family. They're one of, like the McNallys, they're one of the tennis families in Cincinnati. And I would watch his matches, his Ohio State matches. He was #1 player in the country. And to me, he always reminded myself of a young Andre Agassi.
Right.
He looked like, and so to see him coming out and performing the way he did, I mean, he made it to the third round. This is the first major he's ever played, and to take the beat down from Medvedev is, you know,
nothing to be mad about.
You can't be mad about that. You can't be mad about that. So I am very excited about his future. You will quickly hear me following him as he gets out there more, because I really do think, to me, he's the next version of Agassi to me.
Really is. I mean, he's definitely taken that path because, you know, he's got the look. He decided to do the mullet and the whole blonde thing like Agassi back in the day. So, he was definitely giving you an Agassi vibe out there. So, he for his first Grand Slam, that is an incredible result. So, congratulations to you. Good job.
Yeah, that was awesome. I will also tell you what was a surprise for me. I'm going to let you talk about this one. Where in the heck did Papaso get his motivation?
He was drinking that damn syrup that they drink up in Canada, apparently.
I guess.
Man, Vasek Pospisil was like, you know what, folks? I'm about to bring it in this U.S. Open.
Yep.
And Milos Raonic, ain't nobody scared of you. Just because you came out there and did your thing at the Western Southern, ain't nobody scared of you. This is U.S. Open.
Ain't nobody trying to peek at the Western and Southern.
No, this is the U.S. Open, son. Bring your game when it matters. Man, that was shocking to me, Bryce. I mean, he got up on Milos and was like, ain't nobody scared of you. And like I said, for him to do that and then follow it up and then get up on RBA and was like, RBA, ain't nobody scared of you neither. I know you've been taking folk out. I know you done had a good year, but guess what? You're not about to bring that with me. And I'm telling you what, man, Vasek Pospisil has something to really, really be very, very excited about because he played some good tennis. And in my opinion, he's lived up to what I consider to be his potential. Because he's a big guy, got a big game, and to me, he's just sort of underachieved. And so the fact that he was able to make it to the fourth round, and like I said, I just feel like he got gassed. And when you're playing the Demon, Alex de Minaur, you got to have your fitness in check. And I just feel like at that point he got a little bit tired, and de Minaur was like, "Yo, you're not ready for these wheels, son. Because I'm gonna get them balls back." And that's exactly what he was doing. So but good tournament for him, man. Very nice for Pospisil.
Well, let's talk about a definite disappointment for both you and I. And that was that collapse of Tsitsipas against Coric, up 5-1 in the fourth.
Dude, 5 match points, I believe, or more than 5 match points. I can't remember how many match points he had.
Yeah.
What is that about, dude? That was shocking.
I think it was like the commentator said. I think, I think Tsitsipas was out there trying to say it with his chest, and that motivated Coric.
Mm-hmm. He did.
And Coric just locked it down. And then when he got in Tsitsipas's head, I mean, it was a lock.
It was a lock.
It was a lock. And but I'm gonna tell you what, this is why I like Tsitsipas so much. Even later that night, he was joking about it. Exactly. As crushing of a defeat as it was, he was like, there's definitely something for me to learn from, in the whole 9. I love that guy's spirit. You and I had kind of picked him to actually win the tournament. But I don't know. I think he's going to get some real growth out of this loss.
I think he will as well. I really do. I just, I like Tsitsipas. He's just a very unique guy, and I think all of the players kind of describe him that way. He's pretty unique. If you follow his IG, he's just a little special. But like you said, I think he will grow from that. I think you need to be a little bit special to be a champion, to be very honest with you.
Right.
And so I still feel like, maybe he didn't win this one, but he's got plenty more Grand Slams coming to him in the future. Plenty.
He does.
So
he does.
It's all good. He collapsed, but he will be back. Yeah.
Right. Now, before we move on to kind of where we are right now in the tournament.
Yeah.
We will acknowledge Djokovic isn't in it anymore, and we will talk about that briefly at the end, and also talk about how you can hear us talk about it even more, because we had a lot to say. He's not in the tournament, so what that has done for us is it has created a scenario where somebody's going to win their first major. And I tell you what, it's been a long time since I have really looked at the people remaining in the tournament kind of at quarterfinal level and didn't really mind if any of them won.
No.
I have my favorites, but
exactly. There is literally no one in this draw that I would not mind carrying away the hardware. I mean, there really isn't. There really isn't. Right. I may have a list of this one first, second, third, but overall, any of them can take it, and I would be so happy for them. I really would be. Yeah.
So let's talk about where we're at. So let's start in that top section. So we have, and I always say, because our friend Nick Kyrgios calls him this, Carreno Busta. Well, he has busted his way into the quarterfinals because, and let me be real clear about this, because we're not going to talk about this portion of it.
Right.
When Djokovic was defaulted, Busta was about to start serving for the first set. He was up 6-5 serving in the first set. We don't know that he would have won the match, but he was winning the match at that moment. So
let's just keep it in context.
Put some respect on that guy's name,
That's right.
But what may be on his name in this next round when he plays Shapovalov is an L. So I have definitely Shapovalov taking him out in the next round in the quarterfinals. And do you know what? I don't know about Coric and Zverev. To me, that is like a toss up if I've ever seen one. If I had to lean one way, believe it or not, I'm leaning Coric.
Really?
Yes, and the reason being is because Coric, to me, has the ability to play error-free tennis.
Mm-hmm. True.
He gets in he got in that zone with Tsitsipas.
Yeah.
Where he just isn't gonna miss.
Right.
Not missing isn't really an option a lot of times for Zverev. and it can start all the way with the serve. And I don't know that that's a good matchup for him. I don't know what their head-to-head is. I may need to look at that.
Yeah.
Because Zverev may be up on courts like 20-0. But at this moment in time, it's a toss-up. But I guess it really doesn't matter because I'm picking Shapovalov to the finals on this side of the draw anyway.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about the top half of the draw?
Oh, brother. So, listen, I do appreciate Carreno Busta for his, his game.
For his contributions.
His contributions. But, I just feel like Shapovalov, now that he's got Wayne Ferreira in his camp, his mind is right. He's playing some really good ball. I feel like that win against Goffin was strong. It was really, it was really good. And mind you, it's just for him to take out Taylor Fritz. And remember, he came back. He had to come back on Taylor Fritz to win.
Yeah.
So that in itself is exceptional. And then he takes out Goffin. I just feel like with his firepower and where he's at mentally, I feel like he will get over Carreno Busta. Funny enough, I honestly feel like, weirdly enough, I actually have given the edge to Zverev. And the only reason I'm doing that is because, again, I'm thinking back to that Australian Open he played this 2020. Zverev looked good. And he looked like he had finally realized that, you know what, I can goof around and do whatever in these other tournaments, but when I'm in a Grand Slam, I need to be trying to bring my best. And if Zverev brings his best and he doesn't have all his double fault issues, I feel like he will take out Church. Because, again, I just feel like he's been in the situation more than Church. He's experienced more things. He's won bigger titles. So I just feel like he is going to get past him for that simple matter. Right. And to be honest with you, and even though my heart wants to say I picked Shapovalov, I actually think Zverev is going to make this final.
Okay.
Top half. I really do. I think I just feel like he's just going to lock in, and he's like, I ain't got to worry about Djokovic. And mind you, he's beaten Djokovic, so it ain't like he would have been fully scared, afraid of him anyway. So for whatever reason, I'm actually going with Zverev, which is crazy for me to say.
And something that might actually help Zverev is that he's not even the first or the second person that's now considered a favorite now that Djokovic is out. Right. Because depending upon who you talk to, it's some combination of Thiem and Medvedev.
Correct.
So
that's where it's going to be good.
Right. So he probably is not even feeling the pressure of, okay, Djokovic is out now, I'm expected to win. Right.
Exactly.
So I'm thinking Shapovalov in the final. You are thinking Zverev, but we're thinking the same semifinal.
Yes.
To happen.
Yes.
So let's talk about the bottom half. And, we have updated results here. So we have Rublev did end up taking Berrettini out.
Yep.
And Medvedev is a head snap away from bageling Francis Tiafoe in the third set after giving him a breadstick in the second set.
Yeah, he's like, you look hungry, son.
Right. I told somebody earlier today, because they were trying to get, I think it was Howard from Locker Room, they were trying to get hype behind Big Foe, and I said, you know what, I love Big Foe, I really do,
Yes.
But he is about to get head thumped by Medvedev tonight, and looks like he's going to win 5 games across 3 sets.
I think Medvedev is making a big statement because he is like, yo, you need to understand that regardless of if Djokovic is going or not, I was going to put them things on him. Right. And I'm sorry, y'all. Medvedev is looking like he ain't trying to play.
He's not. And for those of you that don't remember, he was a couple of games away from winning it last year over Nadal. So I think he feels like he's just assuming his rightful place.
Exactly.
So I do expect for Medvedev to take out his countryman, Rublev, and to make it to the semifinals. I see you shaking your head. You're I like assuming Rublev, the same thing.
He ain't gonna have nothing for his countryman. Medvedev gonna smack him up and send him on his way.
Right. I agree with you. And so then at the bottom of the bottom half, we have De Minaur, who's there, who will be taking on Dominic Thiem after Thiem just you talk on it. I don't even want to know.
You know what? I am not going to be that mad about it. Only because Dominic Thiem is Dominic Thiem. He's number 2 player. He's part of the Big Four. FAA, in my opinion, had a tremendous tournament. He played some lights out tennis. He to me showed me his potential against Andy Murray. He went out there and he was just, that ball was lit. And he did his thing. And I mean, when you play Andy Murray, and I just feel like he, again, and this goes back to where he needs to, of course, improve.
Right.
He's got to be able to figure out, how do I change up my game if it's not working against somebody? If I can't blow somebody off the court, if my game isn't on that day to be able to do that, what do I need to fall back on? Because that's really what Dominic Thiem did. He basically was like power against power.
Right.
FAA saw he wasn't going to overpower Dominic Thiem because Dominic Thiem is a strong young man. Right. So it was like Dominic Thiem then, to me, was the one that was kind of changing a few things here and there. He'd go all the way back to the back fence to return. You don't see Felix doing those types of things mentally yet. Right. And that, to me, is where he needs to grow. So I'm not mad at him. Like I said, it was a bad loss, though. To be fed a couple breadsticks, that is very bad.
And sent on your way.
That is not good. But I feel like he's got a lot of positives that he can take from this. So I'm not as disappointed because, like I said, you lost to a quality player and potentially somebody who might win this daggone thing. So how about you? What do you got to say on him at all, if anything, bro?
Well, I just, looking at that quarterfinal between Team and Demonior, I'm expecting Team to get through. I mean, Demonior he's a fierce competitor.
He's great. He's a great competitor.
Right, but I think Team might be a bit much for him right now.
I think Team has that power, and he's going to be, and even though Demonior will be able to get a lot of balls back into play, I just feel like Team is going to be able to just simply outlast him.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it sounds like we're agreeing that the semifinals will be Medvedev versus Team.
Yes.
Are we agreeing that we see Medvedev taking a Team out?
Yes. I mean, because, that was my original prediction. I predicted.
Right.
I think we both did.
We both did,
Team.
yeah.
I mean, we predicted Medvedev versus Tsitsipas.
Tsitsipas. So basically what we have now is we both have Medvedev there, except for I now have him against Shapovalov, and you have him against Zverev. But I think we're both saying that it don't matter.
It don't matter.
Which one?
It don't matter who comes out that top side. It don't matter. Medvedev is going to smack them up. He already got that taste. He already got that U.S. Open taste. He got the fragrance from last year. He's like, y'all ain't going to keep me from my meal. He's like, bitch, please. I am about to eat. You hear me? Boom, boom, boom. Eat it up. Tsitsipas was the only one that I was giving a shot to take out Medvedev.
Right, me too.
Yeah, it honestly, even if Djokovic was still in the tournament and made it to the final against Medvedev, I would still be picking Medvedev.
Right.
I just feel like just again, Tsitsipas was the only one who could do it. Now Tsitsipas is gone. This is all Medvedev's.
Hey Donna.
Hey Donna. What's up now?
But yeah, so I want to so those are our updated predictions. The only thing that really changed big time is instead of us saying Tsitsipas is going to win, we're saying Medvedev is going to win, and we could have almost said Medvedev from the start.
From the start, exactly.
We're still saying Serena over Osaka, and we're keeping our fingers crossed for Asia and Taylor Townsend. We're down to kind of like the last few minutes before Instagram kind of kicks us off. We wanted to let you know we absolutely did have a nice long conversation about the whole Djokovic being defaulted and how it went down. We recorded an episode on Locker Room yesterday for about an hour and kind of went all the way through. It was within an hour of that incident happening. And obviously, since we don't have time here, what we're going to do is we're going to release as a podcast that discussion that we had yesterday. Hopefully, we'll be able to get it up on podcast tomorrow. So any of the places that you watch or listen to our podcast on, Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts and all of that, or just simply go to our website, www.brothersontennis.com. BRU.
And while you out there,
AS.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go
ahead, Bryce.
On tennis.com. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me say that again. I apologize for interrupting you. BRUTHAS on tennis.com. And while you there, click on our shop page and go ahead and get you some gear. Get you a hat. Go get you a shirt. Hook it up. We want you to represent for Brothers on Tennis. Come on.
And we want to let you know we have received the feedback that some of you are interested in some other colors. We initially just came out with white because we wanted to be consistent with the brand. I know we are definitely looking at black for sure. Maybe around the end of the year. End of the year.
Maybe before Christmas. That way y'all can get some Christmas gifts out there with some different colors.
Right.
Maybe.
Right, exactly. So we have heard you. We will do that. Casey, I did pass the word about the size of your head in the hat. I'm not exactly sure what we can do about that, but the feedback was passed. But anyway, this has been a good first week of tennis. We definitely have some great matchups coming in the second week. And but we're calling number 24 for Serena, and we're calling number 1 for Medvedev. So we will do a wrap-up show after the finals. Probably it will be next Monday that we'll do it. So we'll face the music then. So we have about 15 seconds left. We want to go ahead and sign off. Thanks for watching as always. And from Brothers on Tennis, this has been your boy Bryce.
This is your boy Isaac.
And everyone take care. Have a good one.